been a process to get this set up. As much as I filmed in my bedroom before, I just can't get the angle right. I can't get the lighting right. But first of all, it's a beautiful day outside. It is absolutely gorgeous. It's like 70 degrees, not a cloud in sight. We were supposed to get rain, but no rain. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Julia, and if you can tell by the title of this video, we are going to be talking about things that I'm doing differently with this baby, with baby number 2. Time is flying by, and I am 27 weeks, almost 27 weeks. I will be 27 weeks on Tuesday, and it is currently Saturday. I don't know how far I will be when this video goes up because I have another video I want to film, and I don't know if I want that video to go up first or if I want this video to go up first. I will just say the next like 10, I think I have a list of 10 videos that I want to film, and they will take up the entire rest of my pregnancy. So from here on out, be prepared for all pregnancy related videos. My iced coffee right here. I have Eleanor down for her nap. Josh is at work. I have the house to myself. So we are going to get started. I've been keeping a list in my head of things I'm going to be doing differently that I would like to do different. With this baby, I feel like after you have the first one, you start thinking back like, oh, I wish I had done things a little different, or I wish I hadn't done that, or I wish I had done that. And that's not to say that I have any regrets with what I did with Eleanor. But you're a first-time mom. You literally have no idea what you're doing. I just realized I matched my wall back there. Oh well. There's nothing that I would have. I don't have any regrets with how I did things with Eleanor, from a labor and delivery until now. She just turned 18 months. No regrets. I don't think Josh has any regrets either. We talk about it all the time. Like, what I mean, like all the time now. We talk about things that as this baby is approaching the due date, that we would like to do things a little bit differently just because we have more experience, we're seasoned parents. But yeah, I feel like every mom after the first kid, you have a lot more confidence as a parent, you have a lot more confidence as a mom, you know where you stand in motherhood, and you're not going to let other people's opinions necessarily affect the way that you want to parent your kid, if you know what I mean. So I put my thoughts into my phone, and I actually talked to Josh and asked him if there was anything else that I had said that I wanted to do differently that I didn't put on my phone, and he only had, I think it was one thing that he said that I was doing differently that I didn't have on my list. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing, I am not stressing out so much with this pregnancy. And I feel like a lot of moms say that when it comes to their second or following pregnancies, that they are not stressing out so much. And that's because you know what to expect. And you have a better understanding of your body when it comes to pregnancy, when it comes to labor and delivery. You have a better experience of how to take care of a newborn during those newborn days, during the fourth trimester. So you're just a lot more comfortable. And I've said it before, and I'll continue saying it. This pregnancy compared to Eleanor's is like night and day. With Eleanor, I had, not only did I have undiagnosed postpartum depression, I for sure had postpartum anxiety, but I also had a little bit of anxiety and depression when I was pregnant with her, and I didn't know it. I knew something was wrong. I knew I was not myself. My entire family could tell I was not myself. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is supposed to be when I'm like the most happiest I've ever been, is when I'm pregnant. And I don't feel that way. I don't want to be pregnant. I am having all these thoughts, and anyways, I'm not going to get into that because I'm not a professional, and I don't want to scare new moms. That's not cool. Anyways, I just knew that something was not, I wasn't myself. So this time around, I am just like the happiest I've ever been, and I feel so confident. I feel so comfortable. I just carry myself better. And that's what happens when you have a lot more confidence and you are a lot more go with the flow. Next thing I am doing differently is I am definitely advocating for myself a lot more. I didn't have to advocate for myself when I was pregnant with Eleanor because the midwife that I had was bomb. She was amazing. I absolutely loved her. It was like a match made in heaven. I can't say enough good things about her, but she retired. And the midwife that I decided to go with after I got pregnant with this baby, she had actually trained under the midwife that I had with Eleanor. So I thought, okay, well, if she trained under her, then surely she's going to have some of the same views and line of thinking as the retired midwife did. And I was wrong. She did not. I went to her for 24 weeks. I think that was my last appointment. No, it was actually 22 because I'm still doing the monthly appointments. My last appointment with her was at 22 weeks, around that time. And every appointment that I was going to with her, and Josh can testify because he's been going to every appointment with me, she was harping on my weight gain. And guys, I haven't gained a lot of weight. I gained a lot of weight with Eleanor. I gained 65 pounds, and that was the heaviest I've ever been in my entire life. But you wouldn't know it. I had a ton of water retention. I was very swollen, and you have to take into account that when you're pregnant, you have not only the baby, but you have the placenta. You have the fat in the milk in your breast because, you know, breastfeeding. And then you have, what am I going to say? Oh, blood. All of the extra blood. Your body has 50% more blood flowing through your body. So, of course, you're going to gain a lot of weight. And my midwife with Eleanor, she didn't say a thing about my weight. My heart rate was good. My blood pressure was good. Like, everything was completely normal and exactly what you want in a pregnancy. So I never heard her say, hey, you know, you're getting kind of up there on the scale. You may want to cut back on some food. She let me do my own thing. She let my body do its own thing. She let Eleanor do her own thing within my womb. This midwife that I had with this pregnancy, the first half of the pregnancy, she read my chart and everything, and because Eleanor kind of got stuck a little bit, she was like, all right, we really don't want to have a big baby. Mind you, I'm 5'10", 5'9"-ish. Josh is over 6 feet tall. We have naturally big babies. And clearly my body can birth a big baby. I had no issues. I had a very minimal tearing with Eleanor, so my body knows exactly what to do. And this midwife just kept harping on, all right, you gained, you know, so much weight, so many pounds since the last appointment, la-di-da-di-da. And I'm thinking, I am really not eating a lot. And what I am eating, it is very healthy. I've been eating a lot of proteins, a lot of veggies, like a ton of veggies. Grains, I've been having a very minimal takeout, like McDonald's and Burger King and stuff like that. I've been eating very healthy. So I was like, all right, this, like, it just doesn't make me feel comfortable, and I need to advocate for myself. So I talked to Josh and I voiced to him my thoughts. He's like, you know, I'm having the exact same feelings, and she shouldn't be putting that much pressure on making sure you don't gain a lot of weight. She should be worrying about making sure that you have a safe and healthy pregnancy, that the baby's healthy, and all of these other things. So I'm like, you're absolutely right. So I actually called the office, and I just wanted to talk to another midwife that was in the office that I had previously met early on in the pregnancy, which I really liked her. She was really good. I can't talk fast because I am like out of breath. So I called the office and I just explained that I am thinking of switching midwives. I'd like to talk to this one, get her opinion on some things, talk to her, voice my thoughts and my concerns. And she called me back, and her and I were on the exact same wavelength when it came to our way of thinking with this pregnancy. And she's like, you know, you've only gained like 20 pounds since the beginning of your pregnancy. And mind you, I started out underweight for this pregnancy for my height. And she's like, yeah, you can totally gain more weight and be completely fine. So I was like, awesome. Can you take me on as your patient for the rest of my pregnancy? So she graciously took me on for the rest of my pregnancy. If she's going to be there to deliver this baby, I don't know. That's the risk that you have with a doctor or a midwife or whoever when it comes to labor and delivery. You could be seeing the exact same midwife or the doctor the entire pregnancy, and when it comes time to actually deliver the baby, your provider may not be on call. But that is totally okay. As long as I get to see her for the rest of this pregnancy, I am very happy. And now when I go to eat, I don't have guilt over eating. The next thing that I am doing differently is I am mentally preparing myself for postpartum. I did not prepare myself mentally for postpartum the first time around. I knew that postpartum depression and postpartum anxiety were a thing. I was very naive to postpartum rage though, and pretty naive to postpartum anxiety. I was just focusing more on postpartum depression and thinking, oh man, I really hope I don't get this. I'm gonna have to keep myself busy, la-di-da-di-da. She's gonna be born in November, it's gonna be cold, I'm gonna have to stay pretty busy. And I didn't read up on the signs of what depression, anxiety, and rage were when you are postpartum. I didn't realize that it's not necessarily right after the baby is born that those feelings and those thoughts start creeping in. It can happen months after the baby is born, like well after the 4th trimester. Like I think some women say it has hit them like 6 months after they've given birth. And every woman is different. So this time around, I'm being very open with Josh about my mental health, like the thoughts that are going on and everything like that. I'm reading up on the different signs. I actually need to talk to this new midwife about that because now that we're getting closer to the 3rd trimester, which is crazy to think that in a week I'm going to be in the 3rd trimester. Where has the time gone? I don't know. But something else that I'm doing to prepare myself, I'm just getting this book. Hold on. Thankfully, this baby is going to be born in the summer. So I will be able to go to the pool, go to my aunt's pool, if I fix that, and hang out with family, just be outside, which is the biggest thing, is being able to go outside and be in the sun. That will help immensely. But something that I saw, I was watching another YouTuber, she was talking about her postpartum depression and anxiety and actually rage story. And first of all, I cried during that video because I'm like, that's how I felt. And then the following day, someone on Facebook posted their story too. I'm thinking to myself, that is exactly how I felt. I just didn't know it. And I didn't have the verbiage nor the knowledge to actually know like what I was thinking. And it's really weird to explain unless you've been through it. But again, I'm not trying to scare new moms. I'm telling you guys what it was like for me. Anyways, she had mentioned an account on Instagram, and it's called Psych Mommy, I think it's called. So it's called Psych Mommy. She is a doctor, and her account is like all mom mental health, and it's fantastic. And a book that she recommended for postpartum, not only for moms to read but for dads to read, is this book. This Isn't What I Expected: Overcoming Postpartum Depression. So this came in the mail a few weeks ago, and I just haven't had time to read it. Actually, I've had time, I just haven't made the time at the end of the night to read it. But that is something that I am going to read before this baby comes. So I am just overall trying my very best to mentally prepare myself for it, if that makes any sense. I know that you aren't always going to have postpartum depression and anxiety and rage with every single pregnancy, but it's very real, and it's a very real possibility. So again, I'm just trying my very best to be aware of the signs, have Josh know and to tell me straightforward, like, hey, I think this is what is going on with you right now. Like, we need to get some help. Oh, and that was the other thing that I'm doing differently, is having a more open line of communication with Josh regarding my mental health. Another thing, so a lot less serious than mental health, is I'm not going to co-sleep. And I say that very hesitantly because I'm open to the idea of co-sleeping. I co-slept with Eleanor. We did for 9 months, and it was fantastic. I loved it. It was great. However, I think a reason why I struggled with sleep training her a little bit, and what made it a little more difficult, was that she was so used to having me right there. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with being right there for your child and having the feeling and knowing that your child is right there, and them knowing that you are right there. It's a beautiful bond. It's wonderful. However, I need my sleep. And when you're co-sleeping, you don't necessarily get the greatest sleep. And when you have a toddler, she's going to be just shy of 2 years old at that point, and Josh is going to be extremely busy with work. And thankfully, my sister is going to be here to help. But, you know, I need to get good sleep. Next thing is, I am not going to stress so much about breastfeeding and pumping. I love breastfeeding, but I also hate breastfeeding. I truly have a love-hate relationship with it, and I loathe pumping, guys. I absolutely loathe it. Like, it got to the point when Eleanor was 9 months old that thankfully she needed to start being supplemented with formula, because I wasn't producing enough milk at that point. And I think a reason for it was because I was starting to really hate pumping at work. So I would stress about that, and then I would stress about not having enough milk for her, because she's getting to the point where she can eat solids, but she needs to get most of her nutrition from either formula or breast milk, and it was just a whole bunch of things, and my milk supply dropped. I was like, you know what? It's all good. I'm just going to give her some formula, and she's going to be a happy, healthy baby no matter what. And that's what I did. And you know what? It was amazing. I had so much freedom when she was drinking formula, because I didn't have to pump constantly at work. I was just a happier person because I didn't have to pump, and it was wonderful. So I'm obviously going to breastfeed if I can. If I can't, it's not a big deal. It's all right. I'm not going to stress over it. So I say this with a bit of hesitation, this one. I am not going to stress about having a natural labor and delivery. And when I say natural, because, you know, delivery is natural. If I need, or if I want an epidural, I'm going to get that epidural. If I need to have a C-section because, you know, baby's breech, something is happening, whatever, okay, I'll have a C-section. I know it is very invasive surgery, but I know at the same time that my hospital is very good, and that tons of women get C-sections all the time. I am not going to stress over delivery. The first time around, I did. I was so adamant. I was like, absolutely no drugs. I don't want any constant monitoring on the belly. I just want to do my own thing and make sure I have an all-natural delivery. And I told Josh multiple times, I said, if I say I want an epidural, you need to say, no, you do not want an epidural. This time around, I'm like, if I want that epidural, I'm going to get that epidural. But at the same time, I'm thinking, I don't want the recovery of an epidural, nor do I want the recovery of a C-section. Because I know that although both epidurals and C-sections are so common now, there's a lot that can happen that can really affect the recovery process. And I had Eleanor without any drugs, without any intervention or anything. I had a beautiful, like, picture perfect water birth, other than her slightly getting stuck. And because of that, I had very minimal tearing, and the recovery process was a breeze. I remember when people came over to the hospital and they were visiting, I was able to, like, plop on the bed, and they're like, oh my gosh, how did you just do that? I'm like, I don't hurt down there. Like, it's swollen, but I have only a few stitches, and they weren't intrusive. if that gives you a mental picture. So yeah, it was a really nice recovery, and I like the recovery of a drug-free delivery. Okay, one more thing, and then we're gonna get to actually two more things. Yeah, two more things. The next one is, I'm not going to let other people's opinions nor suggestions really affect me. Okay, I'm gonna go back before I just word vomit everywhere. So what I mean by that is I know where I stand as a mom, and I know where I stand and how I want to raise Eleanor. Josh and I talk about it all the time. We know exactly how we want to parent, and it's pretty similar to how we were raised. But at the same time, I don't want to say it's more modern, but it's more being in tune with your emotions. Not to get all like super touchy-feely or hippie or whatever you want to call it, but we know where we stand as parents, and we know how we want our kids to be raised. Obviously, it's very biblical based, and we know where we stand on discipline. So I'm not going to let other people's opinions of the newborn stage and what you should and you should not do affect me. I listened. I didn't necessarily take their suggestions or their opinions to action, but I did listen to them, and it bothered me because I felt like, okay, well, I know I'm a first-time mom, but I have a mom gut. You know, they always say moms know best, and it's true. Moms do know best. I'm thinking, okay, like, you're saying this stuff. Do you not think that I'm capable of raising my kid? Do you not think I'm capable of keeping my newborn alive? Because, you know, I kept her safe inside me for 9+ months, and I birthed her. Clearly I can take care of her. So that's what I mean. It's not taking their suggestions or opinions to heart, and it's more, again, just go with the flow kind of thing. And realizing that, yes, their opinions and their suggestions come from a place of love most of the time, but just not taking it so seriously. And something else that I'm doing, that last one that I'm doing differently, that is like very lighthearted. I've started to research and look at changing my diet starting now. So like I said at the beginning of the video, I've been eating so healthy, guys, like so healthy, and that's mainly because I just crave veggies. I crave roasted veggies, specifically asparagus, Brussels sprouts, onions, and green peppers. Oh, ooh, with broccoli. That sounds so good. We just had that for dinner last night. And what I love to do is in the morning with the leftovers, saute them and then have eggs with them. Oh, so good. Anyways, we're getting off track. So I've started to look at changing my diet. And what I had to do with Eleanor after I had her was I had to cut out dairy, and I had to cut out dark leafy greens because they would just really upset her stomach and cause her a lot of pain. And I was kind of surprised, but I also knew at the same time that a lot of women have to cut these foods out of their diets, and it's only for a few months, and that's exactly what it was with her. It was just for a few months, and then I slowly started to introduce them back into my diet, and she was fine. This time around, I know I'm gonna have to cut out dairy. I'm not even going to try to have dairy and cause that baby pain. My dog. So I'll wait until the baby is born to do that, but I've started to look into not only other vitamins that I should be taking besides the prenatals, but looking at cutting out gluten. And the reason why I say that is because gluten can cause, brain fog, and I just want to not have brain fog during the postpartum time. And it kind of goes hand in hand with mentally preparing myself for postpartum depression and postpartum anxiety, and just having as clear of a mindset as I can prior to delivery. So I've been looking at slowly cutting out gluten here and there, and it's actually pretty easy now because there are so many different options that are gluten-free, which is fantastic, and they taste really good. The only thing though that sucks is that I love feta cheese on my eggs or on my veggies. Ooh, and freshly grated Parmesan on my veggies. That's so good. But that's okay because once this baby's born, I won't be able to eat those veggies anyways, because I'm probably going to cut out dark leafy greens too. Anyways, that is it, you guys. I hope that wasn't like information overload, but those are the things I am doing differently with this baby. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and leave them down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.